Big news, Herc, out of Mexico involving one of your former managers. Cruz Azul have fired Tuca Ferretti. That's right, he was hired just back in February. Cruz Azul were 0-3 to start the Liga MX season before the Leagues Cup break. They crashed out of the Leagues Cup in the round of 32 against Charlotte. This, by the way, the first time in his career that the 69-year-old manager has been fired. Herc, what's the story here? Is Cruz Azul the problem, or is Tuca the problem?
Well, in this specific scenario, it's Cruz Azul. Now, you can make an argument that maybe it's time for Tuca to move on right into the sunset. 32 years, right? And it's the first time he's ever been fired. The winningest coach in Mexican football. Multiple championships with multiple teams. When it all goes down, when it's all said and done, they will say Tuca was the best coach in Mexican football. It's that simple. But in this specific case, it's not Tuca. You're talking about a guy who came in towards the end of last season and in the offseason asked for players, and they gave him two. They gave him Carlos Salcedo, a center back, and Jesus Dueñas, a midfielder, an older midfielder. And they didn't bring in everything else he asked for. The center forward he asked for, the wingers he asked for, the more depth to that team that he asked for. And it was 3 league games, which I would argue are somewhat circumstantial. In those 3 league games, they had 2 red cards that affected the first 2 games. He didn't even have a goalkeeper. It's Jurado and Gudiño alternating every 2 games because there is no goalkeeper. So it's a lot of circumstantial things, but it comes down to the brass tacks. The directiva, the board, at Cruz Azul is a dumpster fire. For the better part of the last decade, they've either been on the run or in tax embezzlements or in and out of different positions and different people in charge. And it's come to this. It's come to a big team in name and in fan base that no longer has the capacity of bringing you the results and no longer has the trust of its people that the people in charge can do the right thing to bring these results. So he happened to be just a circumstantial loss, if you will, of what is going on with Cruz Azul today.
He got there in February, and I think by earlier this summer, there were already reports that he was kind of clashing with the directiva, right, with the front office. So I think you could kind of see this coming. When we did our Liga MX season preview, I really felt like this was the end for Tuca. I thought like it was time for him to ride off into the sunset based on what we'd seen at Juarez, what we'd seen in the first season at Cruz Azul. You mentioned that just a few seconds ago. Do you feel that way now after seeing this end at Cruz Azul, that his time as a manager in Liga MX is over?
Yeah, just because of the trend that we're seeing in not only Liga MX, but just world football, managers are getting younger. They're getting younger and younger, and sometimes they don't care about the manager's experience, but they believe in the message and what he's selling and what he could possibly provide in the future. Tuca Ferretti is not a guy that's going to give you hope on the future. If you're hiring Tuca Ferretti, it's because you need something now. And as of late, in the last 15 years, Tuca's success has come with some very big teams, very big rosters. I don't see any of those big rosters. I don't see a Tigres, I don't see a Monterrey, I don't see an America, I don't see a Chivas, if you will. I don't see those clubs opening up the checkbook and say, go ahead, try again. So this may be it for Tuca.
Yeah, 5 wins in 17 with Cruz Azul, 7 wins in 34 with Juarez before that.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.